Oh, thank you. Are we ready to go? Are you ready?
Whatever they call it thing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get started here with our press conference. The Blue Raiders will travel to James Madison this week. The game will be at 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern time, and it'll be on ESPN Plus. The way we will do this is Coach Stock will have an opening statement and then be available to any questions you may have. And then following that, we will have student athletes, Jordan Ferguson and Jordan Palmer. So at this time, we'll turn it over to Coach Stock.
Appreciate it, AC. Thank you guys being on. Exciting week. A lot of energy, a lot of butterflies, a lot of nerves. Excited about opening up the season. So we've had a really good, as I've said, throughout the summer. We had a good summer. We had a good August camp last week, and now today's our off day. So we'll start preparations for James Madison again tomorrow. So, but really excited about our team. I like the leadership of our team. I like where we're at. We still have some question marks that we've got to get solidified here in the next handful of days, but I like where we're at. Our players are excited for this opportunity. We're playing a really talented James Madison team. Went 14-2 last year, got beat in the semifinals by the eventual national champion. They've got a almost 1,000-yard rusher returning. He had 975 yards, 1,100-yard receiver, caught 83 balls, 13 touchdowns. They got a transfer quarterback that threw for 2,500 yards. And then their offensive line, all those guys have all started for a long time. They got a lot of starts under their belt. So it's a very experienced, talented offensive unit that has had a lot of success. They scored a lot of points last year. And then defensively, you know, they led their conference in takeaways. I believe they had 32 last year. Number one in third down defense, right up there, top 1, 2, 3 in rushing defense, pass defense, total defense. So it's a very talented team, really good in the kicking game. They had two, maybe 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns last year, you know, so it's a very talented football team. This is their first game as a full-fledged FBS team, a participant, you know, so I know they're going to be excited about opening up, you know, at home, their first game of the year. So it's a great challenge for us. We've got to be ready to go and look forward to playing this game. So open it up to you guys.
Coach, Cecil Joyce here.
Hi, Cecil.
I hope your week's starting off well. Coach,
Starting off great.
Great. That's good to hear. Coach, talk about, obviously, you know, you guys several years back went to FBS, and it was a pretty smooth transition. Talk about how smooth you expect James Madison's transition to FBS.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty seamless for them, you know, because they've had so much success at the FCS level, you know, winning national championships, playing in the national championship game, going to the playoffs, you know, on a consistent basis. So I liken their transition a lot like App State and Georgia Southern, in the sense that they've been playing a long time and now making the next move to FBS. Unlike other teams, you know, and I said this the other day or earlier today, that, you know, when Charlotte came into Conference USA in, I think it was 2015, you know, they were just starting football. You know, they were, you know, maybe 13 and 14, 12, 13, 14, they just started. So, you know, their whole transition, or any team that's just now starting college football or restarting college football back, their transition's a little bit harder than what a App State, a Georgia Southern, and now a James Madison, what they're going to experience, because they've got all the foundation in place, the stadium, the facility structure, all those things are in place, and they'll just build on top of that now as they move forward, as opposed to starting anew. And so I think it'll be a pretty seamless transition for those guys.
Morning, Coach. Sam Down here.
Morning, Sam.
James Madison has lost, a lot of talent on both sides of the ball due to the transfer portal and some graduations as well. How challenging are these week one scouts for your staff when maybe there's some transition on both sides of the ball?
Well, there's always, anytime the first game, there's always a lot of concern, because you don't know what changes they made schematically with their team. You don't know, who's replacing who from a talent standpoint. But they got 7 returners starting on offense. They got they lost a receiver, they lost their quarterback. So they got a lot of guys coming back offensively. And then, defensively, you don't lead the league. You don't do what they did defensively. And only 11 people play. So a lot of those guys that may not have started last year played a bunch of snaps. They got a transfer from Marshall, who were from a defensive lineman who's played against us and played very well against us. So familiar with him, but they've got a good program. It's good players, and so they may have lost a couple guys on defense, but I promise you, the guys they're replacing them with are very, very talented young men.
You mentioned there's still a couple of question marks on the team heading into this week. I know one of them's at quarterback. I think you still haven't decided between Chase and Nick at that position. What are some of the areas you guys are hoping to clarify before game gets kicked off this Saturday?
I'll tell you everything so James Madison can hear it. We got you got 5 days, 6 days here before we play. So we'll keep practicing, keep working, keep figuring out what we can do and what we can't do. And but I'm not going to sit here and say that we got a question mark here, a question mark there. We got some things we got to get answered, and I don't want to give James Madison the answers to the test yet.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good, my man. How are you?
I'm great. You kind of touched on it opening up, but going on the road for the season opener is against a team that has just now elevated its status and also has the pedigree that it has. Can you kind of speak to that challenge for your guys?
Yeah, it's and it's what I always say. When you go on the road, you gotta pack an extra bag of toughness, and probably the mental toughness part of it is as important, if not more important, than the physical toughness, because this is the first time, a lot of these guys have gotten on a plane. You're going to a different hotel. You're going into a different venue where you're not going to be cheered. You're going to be booed, and you've got to be able to handle the noise, the distractions. We know that they're going to be amped up. It's their first game, and then throw on top of it, it's their first game or these fans, it's their first game that they can say they're an FBS fan. And, so I think the mental toughness, the toughness part of it is the thing that we've got to be as cognizant about as anything in handling this environment. Good. Anything else?
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate you.
Okay, thanks, Coach. All right, we'll now have our student athletes. We'll get started with Jordan Palmer, our offensive lineman.
Morning, Jordan. Sam down here.
How you doing?
I know you guys have sort of just started getting into the scout, but what are some of the things you're seeing from James Madison on defense so far as y'all have gotten into it?
I mean, really, it's a base down forefront, and it's just something that I've been used to, the even front, to be honest. And they like to play the nose guard on the center, most likely to like keep me occupied, but like, I can't get that. I can't get distracted by him. I got to make sure I do my own job. And they like blitzing a little bit, you know, as long as we start the blitz, they won't be coming as often as usual. So it's something real easy. I mean, we don't know really what they're going to do because it's a different year, maybe new personnel. So it's just something that we're going to have to see, you know, on Saturday, what they're going to do, and then we're going to just handle it right there and there.
Hey, Jordan, Cecil Joyce here.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Jordan, talk about the kind of a fairly inexperienced offensive line, but one I think the coaches are pretty high on. Talk about, you know, entering the season opener with this group.
Honestly, like I've got no doubts in my squad right now. I mean, we've been ready ever since the summer started. Pretty much since spring started. We got pretty much 2 returning starters, maybe 3 a little bit. But I mean, we all just had our head in the game, our grind ready. I mean, it's about time for us to hit another color, and we're ready for that. So we all excited. We all pumped up.
Jordan, you guys have had to learn a little bit of a new offense this offseason with Coach Stewart coming in. How have you enjoyed working with Coach Stewart and his air raid scheme so far?
I mean, I love it. I love it. At the end of the day, if we can execute it the way we need to, the way MTSU should, then we're gonna be unstoppable. We just can't. We can't step on the gas. You know, we can't step on the brake. We got to step on the gas every time, every play, every game. Keep on doing what we're doing to be successful at what we're doing.
Yeah, sort of more broadly speaking, you're one of the veteran leaders on this team that's gone on a road trip before. You know, Coach Stock talked about, you know, the little things you got to deal with on these trips. What are you telling some of the new guys in your room on what to expect this week?
Honestly, just really, it's a business trip. So, I mean, you got to be there at least 15 minutes early to meetings, to dinner, to lunch, to all those things. You know, can't keep the noise. A distraction can't be a distraction. You know, stay focused, make the main thing. You know, just I mean, do whatever you got to do to get your head in the game. That's all it is.
Hey, Jordan, this is Chip Walters. Coach has talked about openly about wanting to improve the run game, and with a lot of new guys working around you on the offensive line and several new guys in the run game, do you feel like the pieces are there for that to happen?
Oh no, we are for sure there. I mean, us O-linemen, we in good shape right now. As long as we keep on with our tempo, you know, no holding back, we're gonna be good in the run game. So yeah.
Jordan, are you familiar with any of like the history and I guess the pedigree of James Madison as far as what they've done on the lower level and now, you know, moving up to this level?
No, not really. I mean, I know they've played FCS, but I don't study all that, you know, records and all that. I just focus on my opponents, who's across from me, and all. That's about it.
What do you see from the guys who are across from you on that team?
I mean, there's some. We got one shifty guy from Marshall. I mean, that's gonna be nothing for us, you know. And then they got a nose guard. He wants to, you know, make sure they grab a hand on to me, so I don't be like, you know, I don't what do you call it? I don't like. How do I put this? They're trying to distract me from doing my job with that nose guard. So I gotta make sure I don't, you know, I don't fall into their game of play. But besides that, I mean, it's something we can't handle. So.
Anything else for Jordan? All right, guys. Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you.
All right, we now have our next Jordan, and this will be Jordan Ferguson.
How you guys doing?
Good, Jordan. Well, Jordan, I guess I'll just start things off and stand down here. you guys have just gotten into your scout for James Madison this week. What do you see from them on the offensive side of the ball as you're getting into things?
They like to run a lot of 10, 11, and 12 personnel. They like to do a lot of wham. They run kind of like a lot of the same plays, but just in different formations and different personnel groupings. And they'll have the yo/tight end out wide and motion them in. They might have the running back on one side when the play starts and trade them over to the other side. And they just do a lot of different things that to try to confuse us and get us off our game.
Hey, Jordan, Cecil Joyce here. Talk about, George, some of these younger guys going on a big road trip against a really good FCS team from last year who's moving up. How as a team leader do you get these guys ready for not only a season opener but one on the road and one hostile environment as well?
It's a new challenge for these guys, and they get to show what they can do. Some of these guys is their first time on the field. We have a lot of transfers or people who haven't played a lot, and they've seen guys like Reed Blankenship, DQ Thomas, myself, and some other guys before they got their turn. This is their chance, and as a leader, we try to do this thing together. We got coaches who all try to bring us up and uplift us together, and we're just trying to stay steady and stay ready. And I'm excited to see what they can do, and I know these guys are ready too as well. I mean, it's going to be a lot of nerves. The Butterflies, the first game. We know they have a lot of their first FBS game up there, but at the end of the day, it's another football game. We're ready to play.
What do you guys anticipate from the atmosphere up there on a day that's kind of momentous for them?
Yeah, I know it's most likely going to be a sellout crowd if it's not already sold out from what I've heard. I know they're going to pack it out. I know it's going to be whatever thing they got going on. It's going to be loud. I haven't been up there. I heard it's a nice little venue up there, and I'm excited. We can't wait to get up there. But I know FBS is a big thing for college football and all these conference ships and stuff like that, and I know they're going to be ready to go. First game for both of us, so the juice is going to be flowing, but I know they got a little extra juice. We're going to have to take it from them.
You guys have been hitting each other in practice, hitting your teammates for, over a month now since you guys came in for camp. Even just ignoring James Madison and all that, how exciting is it to just be playing somebody different at this point in the year, week one?
I mean, I'm smiling right now because I can't wait, man. We've been dinging each other up for the past 2-3 weeks and just can't really tackle the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? You can't tackle your two starting quarterbacks or your one and your two quarterbacks. So kind of gotta, when you get a sack, kind of gotta whiz by, so you never know if it's a sack or not in a real live game situation. So it's exciting, man. We do a lot of thud and we take care of each other. We practice like pros all throughout camp and this little bye week we had, as I'll say. But you just can't wait to go against somebody else with a different mission, somebody else with a different goal, and just put it all together. We're all a family, and we get to bring each other back together and just see what we can do with each other.
Anything else for Jordan? All right, guys. Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate it. Just want to remind everyone that next week we will have our weekly press conference before the Colorado State game. It is Labor Day, but we will be doing it at 10:30. So I'll send out the link later in the week, and look forward to seeing you. Thank you.